some history that would make it repeatable. And you guys were the ones. I want both you guys to know that. We bust your chops a lot because we love you. You're the ones that made this possible. You're the ones that made us hope, and you're the ones that made us dream that something like this, Mario, could take place this year because of the roots that you guys laid down 32 years ago.
Well, I'll start with Greg. I tell people, they talk about our 91 champion, and we'll go back to Greg's 1990 segment.
Yeah.
1990 is the reason that 1991 won the championship. When Greg got hurt, and we lost that game to UCLA, but it set the tone for the next season that we were not going to lose, and we understood what it took to get there. It's similar to this year. We talked about last year with the team losing those 2 games. They could have won against UCLA and Arizona State, but everybody came back once Michael Penix came back. And to be honest with you, we talked about the team could go undefeated and they could go to a national championship. I don't know if anybody really believed it, but they're here. And I think with this coaching staff, it's hard to get back, as we've seen. But I think we'll be a perennial powerhouse going forward.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I remember us sitting there at Husky Stadium in the zone, in the wind and the rain, before the ASU game, before the Utah game, thinking, they win 22 in a row. They'll match the 91 team for the longest streak of all time, and that would mean a national title. They're not going to win a national title, and here we are, and they're 4 quarters away from doing this, Greg. It's what I said the other day in the show with Dick. I don't know if we'll ever see this type of season again, where every game is the game of the year, and every game has multiple plays of the year.
Yeah, there were so many times this year where we were thinking it's going to take this in order for them to win, and somehow they found out a way to make this happen in order to get that victory. And this team has gone through a lot, and they came back for a specific purpose. Like Mario said, I was the one who said they won't go undefeated. Now, I wasn't saying that they couldn't end up winning the national championship. I just thought going undefeated in the Pac-12. And let's be honest, this was the toughest Pac-12 conference we've seen in a long time. So to do that, and then to go and play a Texas team that was favored, that went into Alabama and beat Alabama on their own home field, the Alabama, and then play them to get here, it's just been a lot of things that have had to happen in order for us to make it. And, I think we're all surprised with the 15-0 or 14-0 at this point, and potential to go 15-0, but I can tell you it feels great.
Yeah, who's the pressure on tonight, guys? Yeah, I mean, both teams should feel some pressure, obviously. You're playing for a natty, obviously. And no matter what happens tonight, and Greg, I think you said this after the Apple Cup when the Huskies went 12-0. This season is an unmitigated success, no matter what. It's done. You're in the national championship game. The lowest you'll finish in the country is number 2, which will be your highest ranking since at least 1991. Is there a team, Mario, who's got maybe a little more pressure on themselves to win this game tonight?
Yeah, most definitely. It's Michigan.
Yeah.
They've been in the semifinals this is the 3rd year in a row.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely on Michigan, and we don't play big boy football. We're Washington, and Coach just talked about the disrespect. There is no pressure on us. We just come out here and let it fly because nobody's expecting us to win. We're a 5.5-point underdog, so all the pressure is on Michigan, and we're going to find out, like Coach said, in the first few series if they have anything for this offense.
And Coach Harbaugh's mantra for this team has been what? Us against everybody.
That's right.
So he's put the pressure squarely on himself and his team by saying we're fighting and battling the whole world. So that's pressure. We look at it as us versus us. We just go in here and do what we do. We go out and control what we can control. Yeah. We go out and play the way we know how to play. And let's face it, this offense is historic. Right. I mean, this is the type of offense that you haven't seen before. I very rarely ever turn on a college football game and I see 3, 4, 5 guys catching the ball down the field, scoring touchdowns, and a quarterback who can deliver on every level. He can throw lateral, he can throw first zone, he can throw mid, deep, and he can throw the ball accurately down the field. So I think the pressure is on Michigan as well.
Well, Michael Penix, Kalen DeBoer is 10-0 versus ranked opponents at Washington. So is Michael Penix. So is this football team. Michael Penix against the ranked teams in the last 2 years. 10 games, 3,200 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He has diced up ranked teams, and they'll see it again tonight. Can they do it one more time? Washington, Michigan for the national championship. We are just about 3 hours away. We're going to hear from Warren Moon, Roger Rosengarten, Jaylen Polk, Chris Peterson, Marcus Tuiasosopo, and of course more with Greg and Mario as we are inside the NRG Stadium in Houston. The stands are starting to fill up. We're purple and gold and maize and blue. This is Husky football from Learfield.
Brown Family Vineyards is a proud partner of University of Washington Athletics. Founded by Husky grad Andrew Brown, this family-owned winery is committed to world-class production with its roots in Walla Walla. With more than 180 critical scores of 90 points or higher, every decision made, from vineyard to the bottle, reflects a commitment to premium Washington State wine. Stop by our tasting room in Bellevue, Seattle, Tacoma, or Walla Walla, where good friends, good wine, and good times are always on the agenda.
Have you been to Ivor's Salmon House on Lake Union lately? It's nestled under the I-5 bridge on North Lake Way. Come by boat, car, or even float plane. It's Seattle's favorite happy hour from 3 to 6 every day. While you're there, enjoy fresh fish, fresh chips, and lots of chowders. Enjoy a gorgeous view across Lake Union to the Space Needle and the Seattle skyline. Keep clam at Ivor's Salmon House on Lake Union and visit us online at ivors.com.
Do more together this holiday in a new Chevy. Take on more adventure in the strong and capable Chevy Silverado. More confidence in the Chevy Equinox, winner of the J.D. Power Award for initial quality among compact SUVs 2 years running. And more value in the all-new Chevy Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Bring the holidays together in a new Chevy. See your Northwest Chevy dealer. For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Elevate your game day experience with Metropolitan Grill. The Met is nationally renowned for offering the finest and rarest cuts of beef available, truly providing the best steak in town. Enjoy a night out by reserving a table at the bar, or host a viewing party in one of their 3 spacious private rooms. To learn more, visit themetropolitangrill.com. The best steak in town. Located at 2nd Avenue and Marion in downtown Seattle.
While you're rooting for the Dogs, make sure your money is working for you. Home Street Bank is here to help you maximize your savings with our special CD offers. We have everything from a 3.5% APY 4-month featured CD to a 5% APY 7-month featured CD, plus other great rates. Head to homestreet.com/UWCD to check out all our rates and learn how you can start scoring with Home Street today. Again, that's homestreet.com/UWCD. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Owned and operated by UW grads and proud sponsors of Husky Athletics, Chambers Bay Distillery is raising the bar for locally crafted spirits. Inspired by Puget Sound, their gold medal award-winning spirits incorporate the best the state of Washington has to offer. With corn sourced from Ruffett Farms, Chambers Bay bourbon is aged in a floating boathouse. Ron Vodka, the mineral water of vodkas, is touched with San Juan Island sea salt. And Ghost Dog Ghost Pepper Whiskey is a brilliant way to spice up your cocktails. Learn more at chambersbaydistillery.com. Chambers Bay Distillery, University Place, Washington. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Imagine a field where every blade of grass is engineered for excellence. Welcome to AstroTurf. Crafted right here in the United States, designed for high performance, and expertly installed by Coast to Coast Turf. Your Huskies play on AstroTurf. It's the surface where champions are made, where every play is a chance to make history. Fuel your passion, elevate your game. AstroTurf, building extraordinary fields since 1965.
Escape the everyday at Swinomish Casino and Lodge on the beautiful shores of Padilla Bay in Anacortes. Whether you're looking to get away for a few days or a few hours, your staycation destination is closer than you think. Enjoy our spacious rooms with amazing views. And if it's thrills you're searching for, hit the casino floor for the latest and greatest games. We want you to know that you can stay and play safe here at Swinomish Casino and Lodge. So book your Swinomish staycation today.
Now back to Husky Game Day and the National Championship with Mario Bailey, Greg Lewis, and Dave Softy Muller. And brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, by Bellevue Rare Coins, by Aetna Medicare, UA Local 32, by Hyder Construction, and by Coors Light. The Huskies in the National Championship on Sports Radio 93.3, KJR FM.
We are back inside NRG Stadium in Houston, man. The emotions are flying. The energy is sparking here. We're getting ready for kickoff. at 4:45, about 3 hours from today. Dude, here's the deal. We got it. We got the biggest game in the history of Husky football, and Greg and Mario are arguing off the air who had a better season, Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. Come on, guys, focus up. I need both of you guys to focus up right frickin' now.
We're focused, man. We're focused.
Unbelievable.
Competition.
How about these wide receivers against that Michigan secondary? Because that Michigan defense is stout, there's no doubt. But a lot of people like to talk about the Michigan run defense in the front seven. They are second in the nation in passing yards per game, Mario, at 150 yards per game. Talk to me about Odunze and Polk and Bernard and McMillan and the whole gang against this Michigan secondary tonight.
Well, we've seen our offensive passing game struggled when Jalen McMillan went out. Yep. Rome still did a great job. He's been phenomenal all year. Jaylen Polk went through a little lull, dropping a few passes. But if you look at that Oregon game and the championship game, and you look at Texas last week, Jalen McMillan has changed our game, and our offense has been going full go ever since. I think he controls the middle of the field. That leaves it open for the outside guys. You got some guys coming in with Jeremy Bernard and Giles Jackson. You have Westover. You have Cope. But I don't think Michigan has ever seen three receivers and tight end with a running back. We have full weapons all across the board. There's no team like this in the nation. Michigan hasn't seen anything like this.
And, Mario, when I looked at the top-ranked defenses in the country, the Big Ten had like 5 out of 7. But you know what that told me? It didn't tell me that they played great defense. What it told me is in the Big Ten, they played lousy offense. They haven't gone up against teams with our kind of weapons. They haven't gone up with teams with our type of productivity. Everybody in the Big Ten defensively feasts, if you want to look at it that way. Defensively, they feast off of each other because they're going up against offenses that don't produce, that don't have dynamic weapons, that don't get a lot of yards, that don't score a lot of points. There's a reason why there are 5 Big Ten teams in the top 7 defenses in the country.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they don't play offense there. So they, forget who we haven't gone up against. They haven't gone up against the offense.
I think that's the big question. Is the Big Ten, Greg, about great defense or about bad offense? We're going to find out partially, I think, today. Had a chance to catch up with the great Warren Moon, maybe the greatest quarterback in the history of Husky football. Some would debate that. Maybe number 9's got a shot to claim that title tonight with a victory. Maybe he's claimed it already. But number 1, Warren Moon, earlier this week talked about his thoughts on his keys for a Husky win tonight against the Wolverines.
I think if we can handle the physicalness and the power of Michigan early in the ball game, and if we can get up on the scoreboard maybe first, I think it just gives you a tremendous amount of confidence when you can score in a big game first for either team that scores first. It's just a huge momentum lifter for you. So I think the team that has the ball first or the team that scores first is going to really have an upper hand in this game. And, of course, turnovers are always big in big-time games. The line of scrimmage is going to be so important both on the offensive line for the Washington Huskies and on the defensive line to be able to handle that power running game of Michigan because they just want to pound on you the whole game and try and wear you down in the second half, especially if the game is close. That's why I think if we can get ahead by a number of points like we did against Texas the other night, you won't be able to run the ball as much as you want to. Now you've got to throw it a little bit more, and I just don't think their quarterback is made for that. I don't think he's made for just dropping back and getting his team back into the football game with his arm. He's more of a play action off those running fakes and off that power running game. That's when he's most effective.
Well, you mentioned Warren going scoring first. The Sugar Bowl, they won the toss. They gave it to Texas, stopped him, got the ball, and scored. If you win the toss Monday, do you want the ball?
You might want the ball on Monday. You might just want the ball. You want to keep the ball away from them as much as you possibly can. I think that's the key because Michigan, that's what they want to do. They want to control time of possession with their running game, limit your amount of possessions on the football game because they're just grinding the ball down the field. So we want to get the ball first and try and go down and score and make them have to do something they don't want to do and speed them up a little bit. So I think it's important if we do win the toss, we take the football.
All right, so this football team has deferred before. You guys agree with Warren? You win the toss, you want the ball, what do you want to do?
I do. Like my senior year, 91, I think we got the ball 11 out of 12 times. We've always wanted the ball first. We knew what our defense was going to do, but we wanted to go throw the ball down their throat or run the ball down their throat and score early and then let our defense just peel back on them. So I think today, like he said, if we go out and score, it puts J.J. McCarthy in a bad situation. The Michigan offense, they want to run the ball. They want to control the game. But if we get out and jump on them first, they can't control the game.
I'm taking the ball because I'm not giving Michigan an opportunity to control the clock from snap one. Yeah. They're going to methodically try to run the ball if they get the possession first and limit our possession. So let's get a score, get the ball, get a score, get up one, and then after the half, when you've been able to see what Michigan is doing, how they're playing, you make your adjustments. Now you come out on defense the second half, we have a better chance of stopping because you know what they're going to do at that point in time. So take the ball, get a quick score, and then allow us to play from in front.
Greg, I want you to comment on what Coach Neuheisel told us earlier about Dylan Jansen. He's got the ankle, he's got the knee. Westover's also fighting the calf and the knee. Guys are banged up. It's week. It's game 15. Nobody's healthy, right, for God's sake. So if they are truly asking Dylan Jansen to play a bigger role in pass protection, is that maybe a bit more conducive to him considering his injury situation tonight?
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to say because I don't know exactly what his injuries are. Pass protection can be something that is limited if you have a knee issue. I've heard foot, I've heard knee, so I'm a little,
I think it's both.
Yeah, if it's a little bit of both, that could be a problem. But what I do know is his recognition is stellar. So he's always going to block the right guy.
Right.
His ability to cut and take the right angle, which is the second aspect of pass protection, he will do that. The physicalness is the last part of pass protection. So if his ability to still be physical enough or get in the guy's way long enough for Mike to deliver the ball, then we're fine. But the first two aspects of pass protection, regardless of how he's feeling, he can do those two things. He can recognize and he can take the right angle.
Greg is absolutely right. It just kind of depends on what his injury is. But I will say this, as coach is not going to put him in if they don't think he can pass block. If he starts off the game and he misses a pass block, which he never does, then we're going to get him out of there.
That's a great thing to watch for sure. How effective is he in pass protection? He's been phenomenal so far this year. He's got more yards and carries than Blake Corum does, by the way.
He does, but he doesn't have 25 touchdowns.
That's true, but they also don't give him the ball in the red zone as much as Michigan does. Well, I mean, guys, Michigan has the number 61 rushing attack in college football. 160 yards a game, 4.25 yards a carry. Washington averages more yards per carry on about 111 less attempts than the Michigan Wolverines do. So one of the reasons why their rushing game is so inflated is because they carry the ball a ton, 525 rushing attempts this year. I'm not saying they're not elite. I'm not saying they're not stout. I'm just saying that those numbers are there because they run the crap out of the football because teams can't stop them.
Yes, that, and they don't have the dynamic weapons on the outside to score quick strikes. Correct. So what do? They pound the ball. They run it down, and then they're getting a lot of opportunity inside the 5 to hand the ball off to Blake Corum in order for him to score a lot of touchdowns. Having said that, he can make you miss tackles. He can run through tackles. As a small guy, he's a real physical runner. Right. Sometimes he gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. I think I was talking to somebody, and I said he kind of reminds me of a stronger Myles Gaskin in his patience for running the ball, how he can get lost a little bit. But this guy will run through an arm tackle, so we got to make sure we get him down on the ground.
Yeah, I love how he says he was talking to somebody. Better than talking to himself, I guess, right? You never know at our age, for God's sake.
It's possible.
All right, we're going to break. We are under the 3-hour window, boys and girls. Kickoff tonight, 4:45 local time in Seattle. UW and Michigan for the national championship. Unbelievable. Think about where we were 2 years ago, Greg. I
don't want to think about that.
Michigan Stadium. No, I think you let it motivate you. Think about the opportunity that this team's got tonight to do something that no Husky football team has ever done, and that is to win an undisputed national championship and the first title of any kind since 1991. Mario Bailey, Greg Lewis, Dave Softy-Mahler inside NRG Stadium. We're continuing to count down to kickoff. Dogs in Michigan coming up at 4:45 for the entire thing. This is Husky football from Learfield.
A legend has risen from the depths. The Kraken Gold Spiced Rum. The Kraken's deep and watery keep is said to be filled with the one and only thing it loves more than darkness. Gold. The Kraken Gold Spiced Rum is rich beyond words, and the only bit of light the beast loves. A dark tale continues with Kraken Gold Spiced Rum. Step into the dark if you dare. Kraken Rum Company, Jersey City, New Jersey. Like the deep to sea, the Kraken should be treated with great respect and responsibility. Must be 21 or older.
It's Softy back here for my friends at Bellevue Rare Coins as the Husky football team continued their winning ways all season long. There's been a similar winning trend in the gold market. Currently, gold prices are at an unprecedented high, exceeding $2,000 per ounce. This surge presents a unique opportunity for customers like you to benefit from the highest possible payouts early in 2024. Visit any of their 4 locations in Bellevue, Linwood, Issaquah, or Tacoma, or for more information about the high gold payouts, visit BellevueRareCoins.com.
They say it's not bragging if it's true. And the truth is, Northern Quest has more slot titles, more table games, more restaurants and lounges, big-name concerts, and an award-winning spa, all conveniently tucked under one roof. And with 442 luxury hotel rooms, we've even become the largest casino resort in the entire Northwest. Which, yeah, come to think of it, feels a little show-offy at this point. Northern Quest. Yes, the best.
At Banner Bank, we're cheering for the dogs just like you. We know it takes dedication and teamwork to achieve big goals in sports and in life. As one of Newsweek's most trustworthy companies in America, rest assured you'll find Banner Bank. Let's create tomorrow together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hello?
Hey, man, I just found out Seahawks Scratch from Washington's Lottery's back.
Dude, I love the Seahawks.
I know, which is why I wanted to tell you.
We should totally get season tickets.
Funny you should say that because...
Plus, I heard...
Dude, let me finish. Seahawks Scratch is giving you a chance to meet Seahawks legend Michael Bennett or win 2024 season tickets.
Remember when he rode that bicycle around the field after we won?
Pads and all. It was a thing of beauty.
Odds of winning any prize playing Scratch game $17.90. $5 Seahawks 2023 are 1 in 3.41. Odds of winning a second chance prize depend on the number of entries received. Must be 18 or older to purchase. Keep it fun. Know your limit.
For 123 years, University Bookstore has been the #1 spot to get official Husky gear. Shop top brands like Adidas, Wear by Aaron Andrews, and Columbia. Plus exclusive gear only available at University Bookstore and at ubookstore.com. We're 100% Husky, 100% you, and 100% of our profits go back to UW students. Find us on the Ave or at ubookstore.com.
UW Medicine is the only health system in Washington where a top-rated medical school and a research powerhouse are directly connected to improve your health. That means the doctors caring for you are the same people advancing medical research and teaching the next generation of outstanding physicians. From wellness checks to complex surgeries, we're committed to providing you with the best care every day. UW Medicine, a higher degree of healthcare.
There is no better way to start your game day than with Jack's Texas Barbecue. Perfectly smoked meats, brisket, sausage, spare rib, beef ribs, you name it, we've got it. Delicious sides, salads, and award-winning pecan pie, too. Jack's has 6 locations open in the Puget Sound area for dine-in, takeout, and delivery. Visit jacksbarbecue.com to find a location near you and enjoy the best barbecue the Pacific Northwest has to offer. Go Huskies!
Now back to Husky Game Day and the National Championship with Mario Bailey, Greg Lewis, and Dave Softy Muller. And brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, by Bellevue Rare Coins, by Aetna Medicare, UA Local 32, by Hyder Construction, and by Coors Light. The Huskies in the National Championship on Sports Radio 93.3, KJR FM.
All right, we are back here inside NRG Stadium in Houston. 2024 National Championship game is less than 3 hours away. Before we continue with Greg Lewis and Mario Bailey, let's give our stations a chance to identify themselves. This is Husky football from Learfield. All right, so, Greg, we're rooting for what? 5 touchdowns from Adunze tonight? 6 touchdowns? How many touchdowns does Rome need? He's got 13 this season.
Right.
He's got 24 total. Yeah. And the record is what?
I believe the single season record for Pac 8, 10, 12 is like 18 in a
18.
season.
Okay.
I believe the Husky career record is probably 30. So he needs 6 to tie and 6 to break.
Tie who?
He needs 6 to break your single season.
Him, this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's more worked up about that than he is the damn game at 4:45.
Man, that was Greg just talking mess. He got me hyped up.
Now, you guys all know on this radio, if you've listened, that Mario Bailey is my favorite Husky receiver of all time. I love this guy. You know, we competed against each other in high school, and although he won one time, he brings that up all the time.
The last one.
Today is the first time I'll go on record saying, I hope the hell Roman breaks the record, so I don't have to hear about that not one more time.
Hey, I told people lie about when they say, yeah, records are meant to be broken. I'm not that guy, man.
Wow.
I want this Pac record for the rest of my life. I want Rome to come out here, score 4 touchdowns tonight, lead us to a national championship, and everything be great. Rome is a phenomenal receiver. He'll go down as one of the best in the history. Just is what it is.
So it's 42-42 in overtime, and Rome needs one more touchdown to win the game and break your record. You're saying no?
That means he's got like 6 touchdowns?
What Mario wants is Jaylen Polk to catch a touchdown at that point. That's what
he's got 5 already.
He's rooting for Jaylen Polk.
He needs one more to break your record.
I would hope that Michigan was like, stop him.
Wow.
You know, no, I'm just serious. Like, Michigan should be wanting to stop him. No, I want to win at all costs. It doesn't matter. If we're going to break it to win, then let's win.
We're sitting here tonight, and the Huskies have won the national championship, and Rome's got 6 touchdowns. Mario's like, damn. Get out of here, man. Are you kidding me? Well, look, obviously, all of us are rooting for the Huskies hardcore tonight to get this done. How about the offensive line, guys? Done a phenomenal job once again. I remember saying over the offseason, it's going to be hard to replicate and duplicate what the offensive line did for Michael Penix in 2022. But they've done it again, guys, in 2023. Had a chance to catch up with right tackle Roger Rosengarten before tonight's game in the national championship against the Michigan Wolverines.
What's this turnaround like, man? I mean, you win the biggest game of your college career on Monday, and now you have 6 days to prepare for the next biggest game of your career.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest turnarounds ever. Definitely had a good time with my family and buddies after the game, but and then we had to get on the flight. What was it, 9 o'clock in the morning, next morning? So it's been a big turnaround, but I mean, coaches, they flew back right away on their flight, and then they started game planning that night. So right now we're full force on Michigan, and we're ready to win this game.
Yeah. What was that Monday night like for you? We heard no curfew, right, from the coaches. So what was Monday night in New Orleans after that win like for you?
Oh man, I went and enjoyed the city of New Orleans. That's I'll just leave it at that. But
no details.
No details. But I went and saw my mom, my dad, and my buddy, his brother, after the game, and hung out with them for a while, and then went with a couple teammates, and just enjoyed New Orleans, and just went back. No curfew, like you said, but and then next morning, man, I didn't get much sleep. So
how long did it take you to flush that and move on to Michigan?
Not very long. I had that day to kind of just say, wow, that was a crazy game. But you had that whole day, and then the next day you look at, I dove right in the film. Guys I'm going against, interior guys. Mm-hmm. We just played the 2 best interior defensive tackles in the country. Yep. And, they give us a great look, and these guys at Michigan aren't far behind them. So.
Right. Number 1 defense, total yards in the country. What do you see from this Wolverine front 4, front 7?
They play hard. All those guys, they rotate a lot, but all those guys play hard. It doesn't matter who it is at this point. We're all playing for that one big national championship, and it doesn't matter if it's the 2 deeps, 3 deeps. Everyone's going to go as hard as they can, so we're going to get everyone's best.
Does it really feel like just another game? You guys have had that 1-0 mindset thing, the cliche of all cliches all year long. Does it really feel like just another game right now?
You definitely got that in the back of your mind. You're playing for the national championship, but for us, my mentality, and I know at least for us in that line, this is another game that we're prepping for, and we got to the margin of error is even smaller for this one. So we're excited for the challenge, and we're going to do whatever we can and strain to pull out this win.
What does this chance mean to you, man, to have this opportunity on Monday?
It means everything. It means everything I grew up for, working as a kid, wanted to play Division I college football, and then obviously you're playing for the biggest championship in all of college sports, in my opinion. So it means everything. It means a lot for my hometown, the city of Seattle, and definitely bringing home one for the university.
So get it, man. Appreciate
Thanks, Softy. Appreciate it.
So, guys, you look at the job this offensive line has done, and any team that they've played that has kind of that war daddy pass rusher, whether Oregon State with Aiden Childs, Utah, they've done a really good job of kind of shutting these guys down. Jonah Ellis for Utah, who had 12 sacks on the year, didn't do much of anything against them. Greg, you've mentioned the Arizona State game a couple times where they had some pressure up the A-gap. Remember, they had Parker Brailsford at guard that day. Belo's out. They had the freshman center and Garen Hatchett starting that game for them against the Sun Devils. Outside of that day, Washington's offensive line has done a phenomenal job protecting Michael Penix. They did it last week against Sweat and Murphy. Can they do it again tonight?
Absolutely. I mean, they won the Joe Morrow Award for a reason. And this isn't a recent or only 1 year phenomenon. They were this good last year in pass protection, even with a few slightly different pieces. So what that tells me is they're extremely well coached.
Right.
They're extremely well prepared. And even when all of their guys aren't there, the guys who step in are prepared and able to, even in that Arizona State game, there was some pressures, but no sacks given up. So these guys continue to keep the job, getting the job done no matter what. So I'm fully confident that we will be able to pick up Michigan's blitz packages, pick up their blitz protections, and do a really good job.
Yeah, look at this team, Mario, and Texas came in with 32 sacks, and they completely shut them down. Michigan's got 38. They don't have that one obvious edge rusher, obvious linebacker that gets after the quarterback. It's kind of a team effort. So give us your thoughts on how much faith, how much confidence you have in that front five doing the job one more time tonight.
Greg is right, and it's not just 1 year. Like last year, we might have had 6 sacks. And this year, when you look at the 11 and you look at some of the circumstances, some of them were cover sacks, some were on Penix. Like, they weren't like 11 sacks. Like, these guys have been hurt during the year, and it doesn't matter who we replace. Like, we're not getting sacked. It's rare to get a sack for Michael Penix. Michigan is no different than the rest of the league or in the Pac-12 that we played, or Texas. Texas had the Outland Trophy winner. Like, they had some big boys. We're not going to be sacked. If we get sacked, maybe one time, but it's not going to be like 5 in the first half or multiple sacks in a game.
Guys, I'm looking at the 50-yard line. Greg and Mario right now. I see a small group of players. It looks like maybe 8 or 9 players. Michael Penix is in that group. Justin Glenn, former player, is in that group. What do you think is being said inside that huddle right now at the 50-yard line?
Probably just telling the guys to soak up the moment and, be present. And don't try to get outside of everything. Be calm, be collected, and just go out there and do your assignments today. It's a big moment. You'll remember this for the rest of your life, but make sure it's a great memory.
I wonder if they're talking about who had a better season, Chase or Jefferson, by the way, on the 50.
No,
Jefferson.
They're talking about who's going to finish, who's going to make the play. I talked about that all the time. When you have a group like this, the receivers are competing with each other to see who's going to make the play.
I love it. All right, guys, we're getting closer to kickoff. 4:45 this afternoon. Got a lot to get to. Tony, Cam, Elise will be here to say hello in a few minutes as well as we are continuing to count down to kickoff. Dogs in Michigan for the national championship. This is Husky football from Learfield.
Hey golfers, looking for the ultimate indoor golf experience? Dive into PinSeeker Indoor Golf, where state-of-the-art golf zone simulators bring the world's best courses right to you. Perfect your swing with the elite PXG golf clubs and feel the thrill of the game. And it doesn't end there. Join us for fantastic food, refreshing drinks, and unforgettable fun. PinSeeker Indoor Golf is the spot. Swing by today.
Hey, boys and girls, it's Softy back here. If you can't be with us in Houston for the national championship game, the next best spot is the gigantic HD TV in the showroom at the Emerald Queen Casino in Tacoma. No better spot to watch the game on Monday than the EQC if you can't be with us. Why? Because there's going to be hundreds, thousands maybe, of frenzied dog fans in the casino barking and going bananas for the dogs on Monday as they look to bring home the championship. The showroom, the HD TV screen is as big as you'll find. Get there on Monday.
Brown Family Vineyards is a proud partner of University of Washington Athletics. Founded by Husky grad Andrew Brown, this family-owned winery is committed to world-class production with its roots in Walla Walla. With more than 180 critical scores of 90 points or higher, every decision made, from vineyard to the bottle, reflects a commitment to premium Washington State wine. Stop by our tasting room in Bellevue, Seattle, Tacoma, or Walla Walla, where good friends, good wine, and good times are always on the agenda.
Hey Husky fans, get ready to see more Alaska wildlife and glaciers with Holland America, the official cruise line of the Huskies. Celebrate the incredible Husky season with up to 40% off, free balcony upgrades, and more. Plus, kids sail free on select departures. With convenient sailings from our Seattle home port, now is the time to see Alaska. Visit hollandamerica.com or contact your travel advisor to book today. Restrictions may apply. Go Huskies!
Elevate your game day experience with Metropolitan Grill. The Met is nationally renowned for offering the finest and rarest cuts of beef available, truly providing the best steak in town. Enjoy a night out by reserving a table at the bar, or host a viewing party in one of their 3 spacious private rooms. To learn more, visit themetropolitangrill.com. The best steak in town. Located at 2nd Avenue in Marion in downtown Seattle.
I like to think of myself as a confident backseat driver. Mom, brakes please.
Gotcha.
But these days, I'm less confident in the economy.
Same here, buddy.
Thankfully, Leschwad Tires helps make sure that our safety never takes a backseat, even when we're watching our wallets. Time to turn, Mom.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Leschwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Imagine a field where every blade of grass is engineered for excellence. Welcome to AstroTurf. Crafted right here in the United States, designed for high performance, and expertly installed by Coast to Coast Turf. Your Huskies play on AstroTurf. It's the surface where champions are made, where every play is a chance to make history. Fuel your passion, elevate your game. AstroTurf, building extraordinary fields since 1965.
Tony Castricone here. Moving is so stressful. I've done it 1,000 times. But what I didn't know until the last time was what a difference hiring the right movers can make. I used to look for the cheapest. Now I look for the best. And I'm never going back. You know why? Because Airvan Moving blew me away. Friendly, fast, didn't break a thing. And when I was overwhelmed, they came in and said, this is easy. For your next move, don't cut corners. Hire the movers the Huskies and I trust. Airvan Moving, the official mover of Husky football and your next move. AirvanMoving.com.
Now back to Husky Game Day and the National Championship with Mario Bailey, Greg Lewis, and Dave Softy Muller. And brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, by Bellevue Rare Coins, by Aetna Medicare, UA Local 32, by Hyder Construction, and by Coors Light. The Huskies in the National Championship on Sports Radio 93.3, KJR FM.
All right, boys and girls, back here inside NRG Stadium in Houston. Both teams have arrived. Washington, Michigan, heading into their locker rooms as we speak. If you have a new project in mind for your home, whether it's a kitchen refresh, new bathroom, deck, even a new roof, you want someone who delivers quality and value, Hyder Construction's been improving Seattle's homes for over 30 years. Call Hyder today at 425-771-3515 or check them out, hyderconstruction.com. Guys, we just saw Dylan Jansen walking into the locker room, no limp. No obvious brace or wrap on his knee or ankle. We'll see what happens come game time, obviously, but had a chance to catch up with a guy that knows what it's like to play hurt. And that's our old friend Marcus Tuiasosopo, who gave us some thoughts on Dylan Jansen fighting through an injury in this game tonight.
You love to play, and you want to be there for your teammates. You know, you don't want to let them down. I mean, for me, as long as I could play, I can take some vitamin T. I'm good. I'm not going to hurt myself any worse. Let's go. And I remember telling Rick, Coach Newman, I said, Coach, man, I ain't taking myself out. If I can, get some painkillers in me and go, I'm going to play. But if I can't play to the standard that is going to help us win, you're going to have to take me out because I'm not going to do that. So, I got to think Dylan's a competitor. He worked his tail off with his teammates to get to this point. He wouldn't miss this for the world. And the only way he would is if he just, you can't play. There's some injuries where you can't play. And so I hope for him that's not the case. and how hard you put in for these moments and to achieve these things. And so I got to think, if there's any route that he can get out there, I think the love of playing, the love of competing, the chance to go out there and have a say in helping your team win the national championship is going to be strong enough for him to be out there.
No, I totally agree with you. There's no way DJ misses this game on Monday night. Not a chance in heck. But, Tui, before you go, give us your message. If Kalen DeBoer found you in the stands before that game, said, hey, man, come on down into the locker room, gather around. We're going to listen to an old dog, won the Rose Bowl 24 years ago at Washington. What's your message for these guys an hour before kickoff on Monday night?
Oh, shit, I tell you, you don't need to hear anything from me, man. You just keep doing what you're doing, keep playing for each other. But, I'll just get them pumped up, man. Whose house, dog's house, we get it crunk in there, we get it yelling. Say who, say what, all that stuff, man. And just remind them it's just another game. Don't change who you are, man. You just go out and do what you've been doing because it was good enough to get you here, and it's good enough to get this victory.
I love that. How about you guys? What would your message be for this team tonight if they, Kalen DeBoer came up here and said, Greg, why don't you walk all the way down to the bottom and go address this football team and tell them what's on your mind? What do you want these boys to know before they kick off at 4:45 tonight, pal?
Well, that this moment is for them. It's for their families. It's for the people in that locker room, the coaches who every day came out with them and they worked hard, and all their brothers. But it also is for us, all of us who root for the University of Washington, all of us who are fans, who have played, that some things are bigger than you. And I guess, according to what Coach Neuheiser said earlier, you don't want them necessarily to be focused on that, but you do want them to understand that when they go out there, they're representing Husky Nation.
Man, I kind of got to speak to him last night, and
I love that, by the way, that you did that.
The moment is just like seize the moment. Like, you can't get this moment back. And the one thing that I see 32 years later is they can never take away from calling you champion. You'll be a champion for the rest of your life. Like, this team is going to go down in history no matter what. Yeah. But if you win when you win this national championship, it goes with you forever. You'll forever be called a champ. But seize the moment, enjoy the moment. I even told him, after the game, don't run off the field. There's nothing. Don't run to the locker room. Sit out, soak it up, enjoy it. Keep your cleats, keep your shoulder pads, keep everything, because I wish I still had the shoes I played in and some of the gear. You don't think about something like that, but that stuff would last forever. If I could say, I have the shoes I played in the Rose Bowl. I told him just enjoy every single moment with your coaches, your teammates, because this team will never play together again. This is the last time. There's some guys that'll be gone. There's some guys that'll be back, but this team will never play again. So seize the moment and enjoy the moment.
Mario, it's funny you mention that because it's an obvious thing, right? That this is the last night you'll get to watch Michael Penix play football in purple and gold. Rome Odunze's gone. Who knows about number 11? Who knows about number 2? But we know that number 8 is gone. Number 4 is gone. Number 5 is gone. Guys that were building blocks for this whole thing are gone after tonight's game. And it's funny, Greg, I was thinking about how Washington's been building towards this really for, let's face it, probably the last 15, 16 years or so. After they said enough is enough in 2008, and they hired Steve Sarkisian. You guys remember the first game of the 2009 season against LSU when they played their butts off against the Tigers and almost won that game. It's the only game, guys, I've ever felt like, hey, there's something going on here, and that was in a loss. And then 2 years later, they won the Holiday Bowl and beat Nebraska. Then Chris Peterson took over and took it to a whole new level. The one thing that Coach Pete's team couldn't do was win a New Year's Six game. Then they hire Kalen DeBoer. He wins a New Year's Six game against Texas this year in the Sugar Bowl and is now playing for a national championship. This feels like a decade and a half worth of work that's being put into this game tonight by everybody.
Well, I think, most of that is accurate, but there were some stumbles and bumbles along the way in the middle of that where it felt like we took some steps back. Yes. I know that when we went and played Michigan in 2021, we brought that up, and I've said I'm the least likely person to want to have to really talk about it all. But you felt like then, man, where are we as a program? What's happened? We had some success. We had started to get on the track back, but it felt really bad at that point in time. And then throughout the rest of that year, it was really, really tough for Husky fans, I think, in order to, stay strong and stay proud.
But this makes it sweeter, though, right?
Yeah. So to come back, I guess what I was getting to is to get Coach DeBoer in here. They brought the right guy in at the right time. And, you know, you always hear Coach speak when guys, you know, we're going to play for a national championship and we're going to try to win it all. Sometimes it takes time. We're going to build and all that. Well, he did it so fast. It made our head spin. And he wasn't just Coach speak saying we're going to win a national championship, but they're actually here right now with an opportunity to do it.
We heard the voice of Marcus Tuiasosopo there, Mario, and Dick and I were talking in the air this week. You know, has he been bumped from the number one spot on quarterback mountain at UW? And some would say Warren Moon, others would say Tui. Maybe somebody would say Michael Penix. Is he number one right now in your mind? Has he done enough to claim that number one spot? Does he have to win it tonight, in your opinion?
No, he's the number one. And we're going 25-2, or you can go 25-3 or 26-2 with a national championship, and the yards and what he's put up, touchdowns. Yep. There's no comparing really statistically for our team record and statistically what he's done with the passing yards. He has to be number one. Warren Moon is only being considered number one because of what he's done after the University of Washington. But if you're specifically talking about what he's done at the University of Washington, there's really no comparison.
All right, well, let's talk about that, because we've been sitting here the whole week and all day saying don't do anything differently. Is there anything schematically tonight against this Michigan defense that you think Washington has to tweak or quirk at all to get this thing done?
Not offensively. I think our offense goes out and does what they do and make Michigan, adjust and change to them. They make Michigan, they put them on the spot, and they dictate what happens. So I think our offense is fine, and it'll be a challenge for Michigan to slow them down. On defense, I think we do. I think we bring in an extra defensive lineman. We put another guy on the front, a 50 sort of type defense, maybe sink the linebackers in a little bit, play some of that cover zero that I'm not all a huge fan of, but I think in this particular game might be warranted. So I think the only tweaks you really make are on the defensive side of the ball.
You know, it's funny, guys. We're seeing that little huddle there on the 50-yard line and some players that were on the sideline in jerseys. Washington has brought Will Rogers with them because it's now the first of the year. He's here with them. Paki Finau, some of their other players, DeMarcus Davis, the quarterback, high school recruit. So a lot of guys are getting their first experience now as a Husky today. And Washington today, you guys may have heard, getting some big recruiting news this afternoon. This came down earlier today. 4-star linebacker from Bethel, Zadarius Rainey Sale, 25, number one player in the state of Washington, committing today, Mario, to play football for Kalen DeBoer and UW. So when people say you may never get back to this point again, a lot of coaches spend their entire lives chasing and chasing and chasing and trying to get back to this point to play for a national championship. Going to a 12-team playoff next year. How commonplace do you believe this will eventually be for Washington as long as Kalen DeBoer's walking the sideline?
Well, that's the difference now in what college football is previous. You have to depend on the freshmen coming in. You hopefully can retool what you're recruiting. But now we have the portal. Yep. We're recruiting. We got a quarterback. We're getting receivers from Cal. We're getting a little bit of everything. So it's easy for us to retool because people are going to want to come to Washington with this national exposure and us going in the Big 12, the Big 10. Now it's easy for us to retool and stay on top.
Yeah, I think it's a better recipe, and it makes it a little faster when you can bring in guys who are experienced, who have had success, who you can plug into those obvious holes that you have, and you don't always have to start off with developing a freshman in order to, usually, like, what did Don James say, the best time to play freshmen when they're juniors?
That's right.
Yeah. So now you get to bring in a guy who might be a 5th year or 4th year guy from another program that you can plug and play. So I think these guys have done an excellent job with the portal, probably better than most.
Yep.
Not from the rankings per se, but from the talent acquisition and making sure they fill the right gaps and the guys with the right attitude. So I'm bullish on this team. I'm bullish on what Coach Kalen DeBoer is doing. And I think the Big 10, Mario's got me saying it. Yeah. I think the Big 10 better watch out.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we're going to have a good one tonight, man. Washington, Michigan. Another game in this long, long rivalry with UW and the Wolverines. Rose Bowls, regular season games. This is the biggest one ever. It's Husky football from Learfield.
For 123 years, University Bookstore has been the #1 spot to get official Husky gear. Shop top brands like Adidas, Wear by Aaron Andrews, and Columbia. Plus exclusive gear only available at University Bookstore and at ubookstore.com. We're 100% Husky, 100% you, and 100% of our profits go back to UW students. Find us on the app or at ubookstore.com.
While you're rooting for the Dogs, make sure your money is working for you. Home Street Bank is here to help you maximize your savings with our special CD offers. We have everything from a 3.5% APY 4-month featured CD to a 5% APY 7-month featured CD, plus other great rates. Head to homestreet.com/UWCD to check out all our rates and learn how you can start scoring with Home Street today. Again, that's homestreet.com/UWCD. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Imagine a field where every blade of grass is engineered for excellence. Welcome to AstroTurf. Crafted right here in the United States, designed for high performance, and expertly installed by Coast to Coast Turf. Your Huskies play on AstroTurf. It's the surface where champions are made, where every play is a chance to make history. Fuel your passion, elevate your game. AstroTurf, building extraordinary fields since 1965.
UW Medicine is the only health system in Washington where a top-rated medical school and a research powerhouse are directly connected to improve your health. That means the doctors caring for you are the same people advancing medical research and teaching the next generation of outstanding physicians. From wellness checks to complex surgeries, we're committed to providing you with the best care every day. UW Medicine, a higher degree of health care.
Red Hook is proud to be the official craft beer of University of Washington Athletics and wants to remind fans that Red Hook Brew Lab is your ultimate game day destination. Located in the heart of Capitol Hill, Brew Lab features 16 taps of craft beer on draft, including favorites like Big Ballard Imperial IPA. With 2 patios and 10 big screen TVs, there's plenty of room for your whole crew. Plus, with Kobo Pizza by Chef Shota Nakajima made on site, there's always something delicious standing by. Red Hook, the hardest working beer of the fridge. Please enjoy responsibly.
There is no better way to start your game day than with Jack's Texas Barbecue. Perfectly smoked meats, brisket, sausage, spare rib, beef ribs, you name it, we've got it. Delicious sides, salads, and award-winning pecan pie too. Jack's has 6 locations open in the Puget Sound area for dine-in, takeout, and delivery. Visit jacksbarbecue.com to find a location near you and enjoy the best barbecue the Pacific Northwest has to offer. Go Huskies!
Tyler Lockett with Brown Bear Car Wash. If your job's like mine, you know speed matters. That's why I have a Brown Bear Unlimited Wash Club membership. Brown Bear's car washes are fast, convenient, and my unlimited membership lets me wash as often as I like. Brown Bear Car Wash. It's where I know I'll always score great customer service and a clean car. Wash fast and wash green at Brown Bear Car Wash.
Washington has one more to go. Pressure coming, throws the fade.
We're going to Houston, baby!
They have called themselves One Washington. Up the left sideline, roll the deuce! Pressure coming, Braylon Trice got him. Running for the end zone, has Jaylen Polk. Caught, touchdown! One Washington is one win away from being number 1 Washington.
You don't stop believing about this team ever.
We prove everybody wrong time and time again, and we'll continue to do that.
Coach DeBoer, he always preached to us, we're built for this moment.
The Huskies will play Michigan for the national championship.
All I gotta say is this one's for you, Husky Nation. We're going to the Natty. Go Dogs.
On the Washington Sports Network from Learfield, live from the National Championship, this is the Husky Football Countdown to Kickoff, presented by Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Let's go live to NRG Stadium in Houston. Here's the voice of the Huskies, Tony Castricone.
And what an appropriately named stadium for the national championship game. The energy in this building is off the charts. Washington and Michigan, 2 proud programs Two of the winningest programs in each region of the country will both play for their first national championship since the 90s. The Huskies, the champions of the Pac-12 Conference, 14-0, the first Pac-12 team to ever win 14 games in a season against the number one team in the nation, the Michigan Wolverines, who have won the Big Ten for 3 years in a row. They've been to this college football playoff 3 years in a row, Cam, and they are 14-0 as well. But as you look at Washington's path here, and led by a head coach that's won 3 national championships at a lower level before, this Washington team is not afraid of the big stage. They've been tested time and time again. You look at the last 6 games. Number 24, USC. Number 13, Utah. Number 10, Oregon State. The Apple Cup. Number 5, Oregon. Number 3, Texas. And now there's one bowling pin left to knock over. It's number 1, Michigan.
Can you take it, Husky Nation? Is your heart ready for one more ride? I tell you, mine is. We've been waiting for this all year. That was the goal, Tony. It was the start of the season. It was when Michael Penix put up that video in front of Kalen DeBoer, and no one else believed it when he said he was coming back and went, yeah, along with a lot of other seniors that decided to make a point that they're going to work their butts off. They're going to do everything they can to end up in Houston. And like you said, at Energy Stadium, NRG is going to be off the charts today. It couldn't be more important for this team to set the tone from the start, but us, we're going to sit back and enjoy every second of this game.
Well, tonight is all about Husky Nation enjoying this opportunity to win a first national championship for the first time in 32 years. It's all about these players and coaches. It's all about this staff. It's all about everybody that has poured every ounce of purple love into this experience in 2023. A perfect undefeated season, now just 60 minutes away from doing the unthinkable. But among those, you have to look at the leader, Kalen DeBoer. 25-2 as a head coach in his time at the University of Washington. Quite literally the best and fastest 2-year turnaround of a team that had a losing record in the history of college football. And he has gotten this program on this stage ahead of schedule.
Well, he's done something with a group of young men, but he started it all the way back when he was a player. He believed in himself. He pushed himself through a lot of things that said he couldn't do it. Became a great wide receiver, became a leader at Sioux Falls, and experienced those butterflies, those pushes to an undefeated season. And all he did was take that same experience and translate it to a bunch of young men that needed to find the leader like Kalen DeBoer. And he goes, I've been here before, boys. Get on my back. I've been here. I will show you what to do. And that's everything he's done with the leadership with Ryan Grubb, with Coach Morrell and the staff and the guys that he's had built together. All of that culminates right here tonight.
Well, and before he could even recruit a single high schooler, before he could even recruit number 9, Michael Penix, to come out of the transfer portal and land at the University of Washington, he had to recruit the players on the 2021 Washington Husky football team to stay. And among those, we know there are stars that are not in their 6th year. But you can't help but think about the 9 6th-year Huskies getting ready for their final college football game tonight. Zion Tupuola-Fatui, Adefwani Lafosio, Richard Newton, Dominique Hampton, Jack Westover, Ulama'o Ale, Mateo Mele, Devin Culp, and Tuli Latuli Nasanoa. Started as true freshmen in 2018, going to the Rose Bowl. Had Chris Peterson resign late in their 2019 season. Went through a bizarre 2020 COVID experience. A heartbreaking, disappointing 2021 campaign. They trusted in a third head coach in 5 years in 2022, and now they have a chance to win the 2023 National Championship.
It's crazy to think about in an era of looking for a reason to go somewhere else, right, Tony? In a time where guys jump, they move, they make transitions, they go look for a different experience. Those guys decided to stay. There's something about the hard work, the time that you put in, and the value of what it is and how hard it is to get there, and they've all done it together. And now, this moment right here, it's unbelievable, but it's going to be a heck of an experience.
Number 2 Washington, number 1 Michigan in the final college football game of the year. The winner hoists the national championship trophy at the end of the night. Our broadcast of the national championship game is presented by your Western Washington Toyota dealers. And today's game is also brought to you by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors. We've got the Husky Honks here in Houston tonight for the Natty, and we send it across the way to them for the next hour. Dave Softy Muller, Greg Lewis, Mario Bailey. Guys, I'm so happy for you. I know this means so much to each and every one of you, and just enjoy this experience. This is awesome.
Yeah, Tony, thank you, pal. And guys, cannot imagine having a better duo than you two on the call delivering this for Husky football fans. In the next 4 hours, it's going to be an epic night for Washington football. And Tony and Cam, I'm kind of thinking back to where we were just a couple years ago, boys, heading to Michigan Stadium, that game against the Wolverines. And you would have told me walking off the field that night that we'd be here 2 years later playing that same team for a national championship. I would have questioned your sanity big time. But here we are, and the reason why they're here is because of Jaylen DeBoer, Tony, and this staff and these players. An unbelievable opportunity to do something that no Husky football team has done really in Husky football history, an undisputed national championship. Mario Bailey and Greg Lewis are with us. We have a lot more to get to in the next hour. We're going to hear from Chris Peterson. We're going to hear from Alfonso Tapata. We're going to hear from Jaylen Polk and then John Jansen, former Michigan offensive lineman who was a member of the last Wolverine title team in '97. He is now the Cam Cleland of Michigan radio. He will join us as we continue to count down to kickoff. Just over 2 hours away. Washington and the Wolverines for all of it. Coming up right here. This is Husky football from Learfield.
Discover new opportunities together in a new Chevy. Meet up in an Equinox, winner of the J.D. Power Award for initial quality among compact SUVs. Lend a hand in the strong and capable Silverado. Or mix it up in a high-tech Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Find family, friends, and fun in the Chevy that's right for you.
See your Northwest Chevy dealer.
For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Hello? Hey, man, I just found out Seahawks Scratch from Washington's Lottery's back.
Dude, I love the Seahawks.
I know, which is why I wanted to tell you.
We should totally get season tickets.
Funny you should say that because...
Plus, I heard...
Dude, let me finish. Seahawks Scratch is giving you a chance to meet Seahawks legend Michael Bennett or win 2024 season tickets.
Remember when he rode that bicycle around the field after we won?
Pads and all. It was a thing of beauty.
Odds of winning any prize playing Scratch game, $17.95. Seahawks 2023 are 1 in 3.41. Odds of winning a second chance prize depend on the number of entries received. Must be 18 or older to purchase. Keep it fun. Know your limit.
You can't win your next big game until you know your game plan. The same can be said for your business. At QBSI, we work with you, customizing your game plan to drive down costs while improving the security and the quality of your network. As a Xerox business solutions company, we offer a wide range of products and services, from printers and copiers to managed IT services and robotic process automation. QBSI is a proud partner of the University of Washington Athletics. To learn more about optimizing your business, visit QBSIXerox.com.
Washington football lives here.
Everyone's watching, and it's time for everybody to understand really what Husky football is about.
This is UW football from Learfield.
This is a proud partner of University of Washington Athletics. Founded by Husky grad Andrew Brown, this family-owned winery is committed to world-class production with its roots in Walla Walla. With more than 180 critical scores of 90 points or higher, every decision made, from vineyard to the bottle, reflects a commitment to premium Washington State wine. Stop by our tasting room in Bellevue, Seattle, Tacoma, or Walla Walla, where good friends, good wine, and good times are always on the agenda.
Star Rentals has become the largest independent supplier of construction equipment in the Pacific Northwest, but not by chance.
Bob Kendall, president of Star Rentals.
Our infusion of energy, expertise, and can-do attitude is what sets Star Rentals apart. Call it old-fashioned or call it smart, Star Rentals empowers its team to work directly with the customer, exceeding customers' expectations while providing what they need at an honest price.
That's the Star Rentals way, and that's why they're the preferred supplier to the West's best contractors. Log on to starrentals.com to find out more.
Tony Castricone here. Moving is so stressful. I've done it 1,000 times. But what I didn't know until the last time was what a difference hiring the right movers can make. I used to look for the cheapest. Now I look for the best. And I'm never going back. You know why? Because Airvan Moving blew me away. Friendly, fast, didn't break a thing. And when I was overwhelmed, they came in and said, this is easy. For your next move, don't cut corners. Hire the movers the Huskies and I trust. Airvan Moving, the official mover of Husky football and your next move. Airvanmoving.com.
Boys and girls, back here inside NRG Stadium. Dogs in Michigan coming up at 4:45 for the national championship. Anybody driving around town right now thinking, what? UW Michigan for the title? 4:45? What? Well, biggest game in the history of Washington football, and I think some people could also argue the biggest game in the history of Michigan football. I mean, the fact that you're playing in the Final Four, the national championship for the undisputed king of the sport, it does not get bigger than this. And guys, I've been arguing to anybody who will listen, I think what Washington and Michigan, Greg, are playing for tonight is the hardest thing to do in American sports, to win this thing.
I mean, not only are you having to go through this gauntlet, and they're putting the best teams against the best teams, and there's weird scheduling where you play a game, and you wait 3 weeks, and you play another game, and all those things. But they're doing this also, the majority of them, as student athletes.
Right.
So they still got to go to class, they got to take tests, they got to do all of that other stuff. So, and for the most part, you know, these are guys who, some of them are still 17, 18, well, maybe not 17, but 18, 19, 20-year-olds.
Sure.
So this is tough. Keep their, attention, their focus, not be distracted with all these other things. So this is pretty tough.
I think that's the thing that people don't know, Mario, is how much work goes into this that these kids put in on the field and off the field. This is a hard thing to do.
Yeah, going to class and being a student and working out and making sure you have your study time and practice and all the other activities, the film and the meetings. This is a lot. This is a total grind. And now you think about it, it's 15 games. That's close to what an old NFL season was.
That's right.
You have rookies that come into the NFL that hit the wall. Well, these guys are playing a 15-game season. So I feel like Alabama, they're ready for the NFL because they're usually playing 14, 15 games at the NFL season.
There's no team in college football besides these two that's been asked to do more, right? Besides Washington and Michigan. So, as Jamarcus Shepard said, you didn't come this far just to come this far. Chris Peterson, former coach at Washington, last man to take UW to a Final Four in 2016. A lot of players that he brought to Washington, Greg and Mario, are on this football team today. His mark is all over this program. Had a chance to catch up with Coach Pete earlier this week and asked him, for a Michigan football team that plays in a conference with one top 50 offense at Ohio State, how much of a shock to the system for Michigan's defense will it be when they see the Husky offense tonight?
There's no question there's going to be a shock to Michigan's system. They haven't seen an offense like this, without question. Now, on the flip side, if I'm being honest, Washington hasn't seen an offense like they're going to see either. They can run the ball. See, the two things that jumped out to me, there's a couple things that jumped out to me about both these programs and both these teams. They know who they are. They play to their identity. Washington's going to pass protect the heck out of Michael Penix. They're not going to have seen that type of pass protection, coupled with how elusive and how good and crafty he is in the pocket and getting rid of the ball. They haven't seen that. So that's going to be different for him. But on the flip side, Washington hasn't seen someone that's going to continually stay after the run game. No matter how they hold up, they are going to keep pounding well into the fourth quarter, because that's usually when things happen. So it's a contrast in styles. The other thing that jumps out to me about these guys is these are two super battle-tested teams.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the adversity that Michigan has gone through, not having your head coach for the first 3 games and the last 3 games, and you don't flinch, you just roll, and all the stuff surrounding that program, and the players are like, whatever, bet, bring it on. And then the thing that, Washington, that every game they play somehow has some sort of closeness, controversy. There's no blowouts. So I think these are also the two most adversity-tested, battle-tested teams. And so I really do think you have the two best teams in the country.
Troy Fautanu, Braylon Trice, Zion Tuiasosopo, a bunch of guys, right, on this team were brought in by Chris Peterson. But the battle-tested portion of what Coach is talking about there, every single game, Greg, the Huskies have played seemingly in the last 2.5 months has been a high-wire fourth-quarter act, the game of the year, the play of the year. Michigan's had some games, yes, where they've blown people out. They played in some tight games as well, including the Rose Bowl game last Monday against Alabama. How much, though, will that experience for Washington matter tonight?
We talked about this where teams who are used to being in these situations don't panic in these situations. And because they don't panic or they don't get over-emotional, they're able to execute what they know, what they've practiced, what they've prepared to do. And being able to execute, especially down the stretch, is tantamount in getting victories, especially against really good opponents and when you're playing for championships and titles and that sort of thing. So they're ready. They're not going to be phased at any point in time. They're not going to be overwhelmed at any point in time. They're not going to panic. They're not going to give up hope. So that all bodes well for the Washington Huskies.
Mario, kind of think about the atmosphere here, and all three of us have mentioned that there's nerves, right, from a fan's perspective for this game tonight. Your heart's starting to pound a little bit as the Huskies are getting introduced here. Both teams are on the field for pregame warm-ups right now, but on the field, on that field right now, does it feel like another day? Does it feel like another week for this football team, or do you kind of tell yourself, this is the moment I've been building for my entire life?
Yeah, you can tell yourself and try and psych yourself and say that this is another game, but it's not. You know what this moment is. This is the only game in town. Everybody in the entire nation and across the world is watching this game. You're just trying to mentally prepare yourself and see yourself winning this game and see yourself doing well. I always talk about it. The big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games like this. Guys are going to get ready. Guys are getting mentally prepared because most of the game is mental, especially after you've already played 14 games. You have to mentally prepare yourself, but it's not the same type of game because you know everybody in the world is watching.
Nah, no question. Well, we'll see if the Huskies can win the same type of game they've won all year long, which is a close game in the fourth quarter. They've made the plays. Can they do it again tonight? I'm going to say this. A blowout would be nice, right? That'd be nice, right? To just give us the night off from all that, for crying out loud.
I think that could possibly happen.
Wow.
I think with our offense back doing what they do, and I just think it's been those 10 weeks, but it could go back to how we started the season and how we beat up on Michigan State.
I'm not a rich man, but I pay a lot to have that happen, pal. I know you would as well. We're going to break. We got a lot more to get to. Alfonso Tapata, Jaylen Polk, and then we'll get things from a Michigan perspective coming up. You can hear the crowd in the background. The crowd is here. The fans are filling up the stadium. Both teams are on the field going through pregame warm-ups right now. And we're getting closer to kickoff. 4:45 local time this afternoon from Houston, Washington, Michigan for the national championship. This is Husky football from Learfield.
Imagine a field where every blade of grass is engineered for excellence. Welcome to AstroTurf. Crafted right here in the United States, designed for high performance, and expertly installed by Coast to Coast Turf. Your Huskies play on AstroTurf. It's the surface where champions are made, where every play is a chance to make history. Fuel your passion, elevate your game. AstroTurf, building extraordinary fields since 1965.
Owned and operated by UW grads and proud sponsors of Husky Athletics, Chambers Bay Distillery is raising the bar for locally crafted spirits. Inspired by Puget Sound, their gold medal award-winning spirits incorporate the best the state of Washington has to offer. With corn sourced from Ruffett Farms, Chambers Bay bourbon is aged in a floating boathouse. Ron Vodka, the mineral water of vodkas, is touched with San Juan Island sea salt. And Ghost Dog Ghost Pepper Whiskey is a brilliant way to spice up your cocktails. Learn more at chambersbaydistillery.com. Chambers Bay Distillery, University Place, Washington. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
There is no better way to start your game day than with Jack's Texas Barbecue. Perfectly smoked meats, brisket, sausage, spare rib, beef ribs, you name it, we've got it. Delicious sides, salads, and award-winning pecan pie, too. Jack's has 6 locations open in the Puget Sound area for dine-in, takeout, and delivery. Visit jacksbarbecue.com to find a location near you and enjoy the best barbecue the Pacific Northwest has to offer. Go Huskies!
The exclusive home of the Huskies.
One more game, you're a national champion.
Man, speechless.
This is UW football from Learfield.
For 123 years, University Bookstore has been the #1 spot to get official Husky gear. Shop top brands like Adidas, Wear by Aaron Andrews, and Columbia. Plus exclusive gear only available at University Bookstore and at ubookstore.com. We're 100% Husky, 100% you, and 100% of our profits go back to UW students. Find us on the Ave or at ubookstore.com.
UW Medicine is the only health system in Washington where a top-rated medical school and a research powerhouse are directly connected to improve your health. That means the doctors caring for you are the same people advancing medical research and teaching the next generation of outstanding physicians. From wellness checks to complex surgeries, we're committed to providing you with the best care every day. UW Medicine, a higher degree of healthcare.
Coming
coming to the Emerald Queen Casino Event Center Thursday and Friday, March 7th and 8th. Feel the R&B energy of Jodeci. Don't miss Jodeci. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. R&B Giants Jodeci, March 7th and 8th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older. Need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Dog fans, we are back inside NRG Stadium in Houston. Dogs in Michigan for the College Football Playoff National Championship coming up at 4:45 this afternoon local time. 6:45 here in Houston. Mario Bailey, Greg Lewis, Dave Softy Mahler. Had a chance, guys, to catch up earlier this week with Alfonso Tapata, local kid who had the mistake at the goal line with the fumble against Utah, obviously. Dogs go out and they win the game, Greg, against the Utes that day, and here they are playing for the national championship. Here's my conversation with Alfonso Tapata from earlier this week before tonight's tilt with the Wolverines.
How do you guys handle just all the chaos that goes on around a game like this? The short turnaround, the media attention, all the pomp and circumstance, man.
I mean, it's nothing different, man. Just being able to, we can hear the noise, we hear what everybody's saying, but just being able to focus, keeping the main thing, and that's what we got going on. That's our schemes, that's the mindset, that's our team mentality. As long as we do that, we'll be just fine.
Yeah, for a local guy. Right? Tell me about what this means to you. There's not many local guys. There's some, but a lot of guys from Colorado, California. What does that mean to you to be a part of a team that could do this for the first time in 33 years?
It's huge. It's very important to me being able to represent for back home, Federal Way 253, but just Washington State in general. You know what I'm saying? Be able to be here and play for my hometown, and then hopefully put the patch of winning a natty. That's huge. Just not for me, but my team, the city, and the state.
Blake Corum, when you watch this guy run the ball, does he remind you of anybody you've seen so far this year? What do you see from this guy on tape?
No, he's a solid running back. You're going to get everything from him. It's not. He's very versatile and just all around back and can do everything. So I think that's a good thing for us, being able to get that challenge, that opportunity to come against a great back like that, and to be able to stay true to ourselves and believe in each other.
What do you think the hour, 90 minutes before this game in that locker room is going to feel like and look like, man?
Man, to be honest, I don't even know. But when we get there and after the game, I'll let you know. But all I know is that we're just going to be ready. We're going to trust in each other, get all our keys right, and just be focused getting up to the game.
How much of a step has this defense taken in just maybe the last month or so, in your opinion?
Huge steps. From the regular season, we did a lot of things, had a lot of things to clean up. But I think in terms of just handling those crucial moments, being more detailed with our fundamentals and our responsibilities, I think that was a huge step for us.
And then Elijah has had an up and down year. For him to make that play, how happy were you? How happy were the teammates for him?
Well, we're very happy, but again, like I said, we prepped for those, so I knew EJ. None of us were surprised. We looked at him, we're happy for you. You knew we was going to make that play, so I think it was just a surreal moment, just happy for him, and it was great, man.
What does J.J. McCarthy kind of show off on film? When you guys have played some great offenses, obviously, but what does J.J. McCarthy look like to you on tape?
I think just being able to run that offense. He's really the mastermind behind everything. He's very well connected, and you could tell that him and his receivers, even the running backs, tight ends, have chemistry. They know what he's going to do, and he knows what they're going to do. So that's a good thing to be able to face something like that. It's kind of similar to Mike, in our offense, being able to make moves and shift everybody, knowing where they're going to be, knowing where to put the ball, and knowing where they're going to catch it. So that's very good for us being able to see that on tape from him.
And he might take off a little bit now, right? Yeah. So talk about that. How do you make sure that you don't lose contain with this guy on Monday night?
Yeah, mobility is a big thing. Be able to contain him, have Braylon Trice, all the guys up front, be able to schematically, probably have some players be out there, being able to watch him, spy on him. But I think at the end of the day, everybody's just doing their job, staying in their lane, trusting each other that we're all going to be there when we need to be. I think that's the biggest thing.
How many folks you got coming down, and do you have all the tickets you need?
Right now, I know I got 6, but I'm in the works right now with my parents. I think they want a more couple people to come.
There you go. All right, man. Best of luck. Enjoy it.
Appreciate it.
We'll get some reaction to that in a second, but before that, let's give our network stations a chance to identify themselves. This is Husky Football from Learfield. All right, Greg, you heard number 11, Alfonso Tapata. They're talking about Blake Corum as a former running back yourself. Your thoughts on the maybe the biggest weapon on Michigan's offense, their running back, Blake Corum?
Well, he's a solid running back, in my opinion. Not spectacular, but what he does do, he does well. I mean, he runs hard. He hits the hole. He's got great vision. This kid is able to find the seams, the cutback lanes. So if the Huskies don't stay true to gap control, things like that, he can find ways to hurt them. He does run through tackles. For a small guy, he's really tough. You'll see him with the bloody face and still scoring touchdowns, and that's what he does well. The kid is a touchdown machine. He's kind of like what I thought Richard Newton would turn into for our program, the guy that around the goal line always finds a way to score. So when Michigan does get in that 10-yard line plus, he's a dangerous weapon for him, and that's really where he hurts you.
Tackle. We've seen this team miss tackles at times this year. The Oregon State game comes to mind. The first Oregon game comes to mind. I thought they were really stout, though, in the last Oregon game against Oregon in Vegas. The Texas game, I thought Sark could have stuck with a run maybe a bit more for the Longhorns, to be honest with you. But, Mario, how concerned are you about stopping that Michigan rushing attack if you're a Husky defender tonight?
That's my biggest concern of the game, actually. And Greg talked about it. Coach Harbaugh, as much as I hate to say it, Coach Harbaugh is a great coach. And he knows that he's going to have to keep this offense off the field. So he's going to try and make sure that they don't get that our offense and Washington doesn't get on top of these guys, and that they're going to run and pound the ball. Where I see Corum is he wears people down. He's going to get 25 carries a game, and at the end of the game, people are always missing tackles, and he's getting stronger. It reminds me a little of Greg Lewis, because all we did was run the ball. At the end of the game, Greg was making cuts and making long runs, but he was getting caught at the end.
Mario, I wasn't even in at the end of the game. We were out by the third quarter. That was Bino and Jay Berry at the end of the game.
Well, at the end of the game, he's making people miss, and he's breaking tackles because he's pounding them.
And I was only getting 19 carries, not 25.
Stop it.
There you go. Well, Blake Corum's only had 4 games this year with 20 carries or more. A lot of that, though, guys, is because Michigan was blowing people out. 15 carries against Purdue, they win 41-13.
Greg
15
Lewis.
against Michigan State, they win 49-0. 13 against Indiana, they win 52-7. 9 against Minnesota, they win 52-10. 16 against Nebraska, they win 45-7. They played a lot of blowout games this year, just like the Oregon Ducks had before they went to Vegas and got caught up in a battle in the fourth quarter and lost it. We'll get a break. Jaylen Polk. Can they help make Michigan's offense one-dimensional by scoring a lot of points? We're going to visit with number 2 next. This is Husky Football from Learfield.
Bob Kendall, president of Star Rentals.
Being consistent is a philosophy that has helped keep Star Rentals in the game for over 100 years. Consistent values, consistent quality, and consistent team members. So it's in this spirit that we'd like to acknowledge our many long-standing Star Rentals business partners, some since 1960. Thank you from all of us at Star Rentals for your consistent trust in us.
Consistency. Another way to say you can count on Star Rentals.
Discover new opportunities together in a new Chevy. Meet up in an Equinox, winner of the J.D. Power Award for initial quality among compact SUVs. Lend a hand in the strong and capable Silverado, or mix it up in a high-tech Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Find family, friends, and fun in the Chevy that's right for you.
See your Northwest Chevy dealer.
For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Whoever said good things come to those who wait clearly never ordered in the McDonald's app. Just order ahead in the app, and you can pick up when you get here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Huskies fans, now you can win all season. On game day, get a 20-piece chicken McNuggets and 2 medium fries for just $10.99 when you order ahead on the app. Valid once per day through March 31st, 2024 at participating McDonald's. Must opt into rewards.
Husky Football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save nearly $750 on average. Call or click today and find out if we could save you hundreds on your car insurance.
Hey golfers, looking for the ultimate indoor golf experience? Dive into PinSeeker Indoor Golf, where state-of-the-art golf zone simulators bring the world's best courses right to you. Perfect your swing with the elite PXG golf clubs and feel the thrill of the game. And it doesn't end there. Join us for fantastic food, refreshing drinks, and unforgettable fun. Pinseeker Indoor Golf is the spot. Swing by today.
Hey Husky fans, get ready to see more Alaska wildlife and glaciers with Holland America, the official cruise line of the Huskies. Celebrate the incredible Husky season with up to 40% off, free balcony upgrades, and more. Plus, kids sail free on select departures. With convenient sailings from our Seattle home port, now is the time to see Alaska. Visit hollandamerica.com or contact your travel advisor to book today. Restrictions may apply. Go Huskies!
They say it's not bragging if it's true. And the truth is, Northern Quest has more slot titles, more table games, more restaurants and lounges, big-name concerts, and an award-winning spa, all conveniently tucked under one roof. And with 442 luxury hotel rooms, we've even become the largest casino resort in the entire Northwest. Which, yeah, come to think of it, feels a little show-offy at this point. Northern Quest. Yes, the best.
All right, guys, back here inside NRG Stadium, Washington, Michigan, for the national championship coming up at 4:45. Dave Sophie-Mahler, Greg Lewis, and Mario Bailey. We're going to hear from John Jansen, former Michigan offensive lineman, now on the Michigan color job for the radio crew. He's the Cam Cleland, by the way, of Michigan Radio, who's on that 97 title team. He'll join us coming up next segment. But we got a guy in Jaylen Polk who had his kind of bump in the road there, obviously the Oregon State game, the Apple Cup, and then comes back against Oregon, 5 catches for 57, and then blows up guys in the Sugar Bowl, 5 for $122, including a 71-yard catch and run on the first drive of the game against Texas. Number 2 was back, had a chance to catch up with Jaylen before tonight's game with Michigan.
Jaylen, you and I have talked before about this look in your eye that I saw in Vegas in the Oregon game, and you just look like you've been locked in, man, for the last couple of weeks. That Apple Cup, you put that behind you. Tell me about kind of just your focus, man, in the last few weeks and bringing this thing home down the stretch.
I mean, yeah, like you got a bunch of guys on this team, you know, that's depending on us to go out there and you know, lead this team and go make plays. And you know, when you got a great team like this, you know, you wake up every morning, you know, trying to find every way possible to just get up and go, you know, do the best that you can do in order, you know, to help this team in every way possible. So, you know, just understanding that it's bigger than me. It's more for this team and, you know, the guys that's in that locker room. And, you know, when I just continue to just, you know, repeat that over and over again in my head, just, you know, understanding that it's way bigger than me and the things that I'm doing, you know, it's more about the team and the guys that, you know, who's worked their tail off each and every day in order for us to be where we are right now.
Yeah, you guys have won 21 games in a row. You're 14-0. It almost seems unfair to ask you to do it again, but people are asking. The amount of work that you guys have put in to get to this point, what do people not know about how hard this team works behind the scenes to make this happen?
You know, they don't know at all. I mean, you know, the world continuously just to count us out each and every week. You know, no matter what game it is, you know, we've always been the underdogs, but, you know, we just keep proving people wrong. You know, that's why our saying is us versus us, because no matter what, you know, we know the truth, the real that's going on and the work that's being put in, you know, behind closed doors. So, you know, we just keep continuing just doing what we're doing as a team and keep building and just keep working.
I get the feeling that you guys like the fact that you're underdogs again in this game.
Oh, yeah. You know, it don't get no better than that because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, whenever we get that dub, you know, it's not going to be easy for sure. We got to go get it, but it's going to feel 10 times better.
Tell me about Michigan's defense, that secondary in particular. When you watch film on these guys, what do you see?
You know, #1 defense in the country. You know, those guys going to fly around each and every play. You know, they're very fundamental guys that, you know, don't miss assignments a lot. And, you know, they're going to be very critique and critical on their job and what they're doing. And, you know, everybody's going to come bring their A game. And, you know, we got to make sure we're doing everything possible of preparing the right way in order for us to, you know, go out there and get that win.
Yeah. Is this the best football this offense has played this year, what you're doing right now?
We've been doing it all year. We've been doing it all year, man. So, you know, for us to just keep continuously doing it again, man, that just shows you what type of team this is. And, you know, I feel like the best is yet to come, and we got one more to show that.
Yep, and then just for you, the opportunity, the moment, transfer from Texas. You came here a couple years ago, and that now you're 4 quarters away from winning the first national title in 33 years. What does all that mean to you personally, man?
Man, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. You know, I got a lot of great people around me, you know, that's, you know, supporting and just pushing me each and every day just to bring the best out of me. You know, I got a great group of guys in that receiving room who just continuously to bring the best out of you each and every day. So, you know, when I say it's bigger than me, it's way bigger than me, man. You know, like I said, there's a lot of people that, you know, work their tails off every single day and they deserve it.
Yeah. What do you say to the fans spending a lot of money, right, on airline tickets, hotels, game tickets? Some I've heard are even driving down to Houston for this game. To those fans that are making that commitment, what do you say to them?
You know, we appreciate it. We appreciate the love that's been shown countless of years. And
you feel that?
Yeah, man. And you know, the energy that, you know, just remembering running out of Husky Stadium the last game and just all year long, and, you know, just the support that they've shown all year long, man. They deserve that. They deserve, you know, what's to come and what we're about to go do. And, you know, I can't wait for it. You know, there's so many fans that season ticket holders that's been there for years and years and years, and man, they've just been waiting for this, you know, this chance and this opportunity. So, you know, that's another thing when I say it's bigger than me. It's so many people, you know, in this town and in the state of Washington that's, you know, been doing this for a long time and been rooting for us and supporting, you know, throughout the ups and downs, and, you know, they deserve it.
I love it. Go get it, man. Appreciate this.
It. Thank you.
Well, he gets it, man. Number 2 gets it, Mario. It is bigger than them, but it is about them tonight. Number 2 is back, and he's back big time, isn't he?
Yeah, he had the struggles, I believe it's against Oregon State and Washington State, the last 2 regular season games, I guess. Yep. And our offense struggled. I think Michael Penix had 162 yards against Oregon State and 200 against Washington State when Jaylen Polk was not catching the ball. It's made a big difference when him in the Oregon game in the Pac-12 championship and also having Jaylen back. But Jaylen Polk is a difference maker. Like, you could see that against Texas. I said he would be the player of this game because they're going to have to focus on Rome, and I think Jalen McMillan, people know that he's crucial to our offense, and that's why Jaylen Polk gets off. If you look at it, Jaylen Polk has more receptions and yards than I did in my senior season, and he's the second receiver.
He might be the third receiver if Jalen McMillan hadn't gotten hurt.
Definitely.
And he's another weapon. I mean, the thing about this offense that is makes it so good and dynamic is that you can't focus on any one person. And not only does Jaylen Polk make a lot of catches, but he makes some tough catches. I know he had the drop, thing a couple of games, but he's made some unbelievable catches this year where you didn't think he would be off caroms and all kind of stuff. So I'm excited to see what he can do today.
No question. All right, we're going to break. We're getting closer to kickoff at 4:45. What do you say we preview the Michigan side of things with the voice of the enemy, John Jansen from the Michigan Radio Network. Former offensive lineman will join us next as we continue to count down to kickoff. Dogs in Michigan, 4:45. For the national championship, right here on 93.3 KJR-FM and Learfield. This is Husky football from Learfield.
For 123 years, University Bookstore has been the #1 spot to get official Husky gear. Shop top brands like Adidas, Wear by Aaron Andrews, and Columbia. Plus exclusive gear only available at University Bookstore and at ubookstore.com. We're 100% Husky, 100% you, and 100% of our profits go back to UW students. Find us on the Ave or at ubookstore.com.
Hey, dog fans, it's Safi back here. Do you struggle with distance vision and now you need readers everywhere you go? Well, I got a game changer for you. K2 Vision RLE. It could be the biggest W of your life. Spend your active years not hassling with glasses, contacts, or readers permanently. Plus, you'll never develop a cataract ever. The team at K2 Vision RLE has performed over 100,000 procedures. Schedule your free Zoom consultation now at K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE, proud vision partner of UW Athletics. Go Dogs.
Imagine a field where every blade of grass is engineered for excellence. Welcome to AstroTurf. Crafted right here in the United States, designed for high performance, and expertly installed by Coast to Coast Turf. Your Huskies play on AstroTurf. It's the surface where champions are made, where every play is a chance to make history. Fuel your passion, elevate your game. AstroTurf, building extraordinary fields since 1965.
The Huskies live live here.
Every Husky is in this building, okay? From Purple Rain to Journey.
Stop believing.
You don't stop believing about this team ever.
The Washington Sports Network from Learfield.
Owned and operated by UW grads and proud sponsors of Husky Athletics, Chambers Bay Distillery is raising the bar for locally crafted spirits. Inspired by Puget Sound, their gold medal award-winning spirits incorporate the best the state of Washington has to offer. With corn sourced from Ruffett Farms, Chambers Bay bourbon is aged in a floating boathouse. Ron Vodka, the mineral water of vodkas, is touched with San Juan Island sea salt. And Ghost Dog Ghost Pepper Whiskey is a brilliant way to spice up your cocktails. Learn more at chambersbaydistillery.com. Chambers Bay Distillery, University Place, Washington. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Escape the everyday at Swinomish Casino and Lodge on the beautiful shores of Padilla Bay in Anacortes. Whether you're looking to get away for a few days or a few hours, your staycation destination is closer than you think. Enjoy our spacious rooms with amazing views. And if it's thrills you're searching for, hit the casino floor for the latest and greatest games. We want you to know that you can stay and play safe here at Swinomish Casino and Lodge. So book your Swinomish staycation today.
Hello?
Hey, man, I just found out Seahawks Scratch from Washington's Lottery's back.
Dude, I love the Seahawks.
I know, which is why I wanted to tell you.
We should totally get season tickets.
Funny you should say that because...
Plus, I heard...
Dude, let me finish. Seahawks Scratch is giving you a chance to meet Seahawks legend Michael Bennett or win 2024 season tickets.
Remember when he rode that bicycle around the field after we won?
Pads and all. It was a thing of beauty.
Odds of winning any prize playing Scratch game, $17.95. Seahawks 2023 are 1 in 3.41. Odds of winning a second chance prize depend on the number of entries received. Must be 18 or older to purchase. Keep it fun. Know your limit.
Dog fans, welcome back to Houston. We are getting close. The time for talking is nearing to an end. The time to play this game is getting closer and closer and closer. Michigan and Washington for the right to call themselves national champions. And joining us right now on the broadcast from the Michigan side of things, he's a national champion himself from 1997, spent 10 years in the NFL, former offensive lineman John Jansen, now with the Michigan Radio Network. John, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, and I tell you what, I am as excited as you and all your listeners are. It's going to be an epic matchup.
Well, let's talk about this rivalry between UW and Michigan. In my home office, I literally have a picture of Ricky Powers being tackled by guys like Chico Fraley, Jaime Fields, Dave Hoffman, Don Jones from that 91 Rose Bowl. That's the last time Washington won a title. Your last time was the team that you were on in 1997. When Michigan fans think of the series and the rivalry with Washington, what do you guys think about?
When we think about, Tyrone Wheatley in the Rose Bowl, going for 235 yards, and obviously we only think about the good memories,
right?
And those are kind of few and far between. But I think it's a great way. Obviously, Washington coming into the Big Ten, we're going to be traveling to Seattle next football season. This is a great way to kick things off.
Yeah, the only thing that would have made this better is if we were in Pasadena. No disregard to Houston or disrespect to Houston, but Pasadena would have made this better. But this Michigan football team is 14-0. Washington is 14-0. When you think about this season for the Wolverines, and if I would have told you back in July that they would be 14-0 playing for the national championship, would you have bought that?
Yeah, I would have believed it. I mean, Michigan's been in the college football playoffs the last couple of years. You've got the starting quarterback back. You've got a large part of the offensive line, and you went into the transfer portal to get a couple of guys that shored things up. And then, defensively, we've got as much talent and as much depth of talent rotating guys around that I really believed. And it really came down to me that J.J. McCarthy, having seen him in spring ball, and when I saw the growth that he had, I really felt like this is the year Michigan can get to the national title game. Now it's a matter of going out there and finishing the job and making sure that you cross the T's and dot the I's.
Well, John Jansen is with us, former Michigan offensive lineman, now with the Michigan radio crew, member of that 97 national championship team back in Ann Arbor. And John, I think when Husky fans, and I'll include myself in this group, look at Michigan, they wonder how much of a shock to the system it will be for that defense to see this Husky offense today. There's only one team in the Big Ten in the top 50 in total offense yards per game, and that's Ohio State. When Michigan's defense lines up and sees this Husky offense for the very first time, How much of a shock to the system do you think that will truly be for this Michigan defense?
Well, it's going to be completely different because while we saw some great receivers at Ohio State, we didn't see a quarterback in Kyle McCord he's a good quarterback, but he's no Michael Penix Jr. And we have seen Michael Penix Jr. before when he was with at Indiana, but he has developed. When I look at a guy, and I don't know him personally, but he seems like a great teammate, a great leader, and he has done everything he can to give himself a chance at being successful, and obviously, in turn, his team. He seems like a great teammate, a great leader. So there's been nobody that Michigan has seen that has provided the challenge that this offense provides with the run game, the pass game, and the quarterback.
Yeah. So is the Big Ten about great defense, or is it about bad offense?
Well, I think this year it's more about bad offense. In previous years, you could go down the list of quarterbacks, and this year, just not great quarterback play. And we all know you've got to have really good quarterback play. That's why I mentioned earlier, I thought that Michigan had a chance to win a national title. It's because of J.J. McCarthy. And when you look at the Pac-12, a lot of really good quarterbacks. And even in the SEC this year, a down year for quarterback play.
Yeah, well, John Jansen, again, is with us from the Michigan Radio Network. We are just getting antsy, man. Getting ready for kickoff, 4:45 local time in Seattle, 6:45 here. Blake Corum, he was on my Heisman ballot a year ago, even when he got banged up a little bit. Phenomenal running back, but it's interesting, John, that you look at Dylan Johnson, and we'll see how effective he is tonight with the ankle injury. He's got more yards and averages more yards per carry than Blake Corum does. Michigan's run the ball over 100 times more than Washington has. Tell me about Blake Corum and how difficult a proposition he's been for opponents lately.
Well, he's very elusive. He's not a guy that you're going to get a direct hit on, which is why he's been so successful at protecting the ball. And a lot of plays that could have been lost yardage plays, he's able to make guys miss and gain at least one or two. And he's been very effective. And he set a record for the most touchdowns from a Michigan running back in a season for a career. He's got a nose for the end zone. And, this year, as opposed to last year where Michigan was a run-dominant team, this year they've been much more balanced in terms of their offensive attack.
John, before you go, paint the picture for us of two things. How Michigan wins this game and how Washington potentially would win this game with what you know about Michigan.
Well, for Michigan to win the game, they've got to be able to get after Michael Penix, but they've got to be able to do it against the best offensive line in the country that resides in Washington right now. And you've got to do it with rushing 4 or 5. Tall task, but you've got to be able to have success there because you're going to need to drop 6 and sometimes 7 into pass coverage to make things difficult for Michael Penix, just in terms of seeing the field, but also the talent that you have at receiver. And then offensively, J.J. McCarthy has to be effective, or at least a big threat in the run game, to draw up some of those linebackers, to make them believe that he's actually going to run the ball. That has to be a threat. If that doesn't happen, it's going to be very hard to defend this offense against, for Washington. Such a high-powered offense and much more well-balanced than most people give it credit for.
Yeah, well, you know what, man? I'm glad that you mentioned the Tyrone Wheatley game, January 1 of 93. I was there in the stands as a 20-year-old kid, and I want revenge. I want redemption tonight for the Tyrone Wheatley game from 32 years ago, man. Listen, it's going to be a battle. I appreciate you doing this, man. Best of luck down the road, buddy, and we'll talk soon, John. Thank you, pal.
Thanks for having me, and hey, let's have some fun tonight.
Let's get it. John Jansen, again, Michigan offensive lineman, spent 10, 11 years in the NFL. Now the color man for the Michigan radio broadcast with a few thoughts on the Wolverines. When we come back, Greg Lewis, Mario Bailey, we will wrap it up and get final thoughts from the Honks on tonight's game next. This is Husky football from Learfield.
At Banner Bank, we're cheering for the dogs just like you. We know it takes dedication and teamwork to achieve big goals in sports and in life. As one of Newsweek's most trustworthy companies in America, rest assured you'll find the banking solutions you need and people you can trust at Banner. Visit your local Banner Bank branch or find us at bannerbank.com. Banner Bank. Let's create tomorrow together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Red Hook is proud to be the official craft beer of University of Washington Athletics and wants to remind fans that Red Hook Brew Lab is your ultimate game day destination. Located in the heart of Capitol Hill, Brew Lab features 16 taps of craft beer on draft, including favorites like Big Valor Imperial IPA. With 2 patios and 10 big screen TVs, there's plenty of room for your whole crew. Plus, with Kobo Pizza by Chef Shota Nakajima made on site, there's always something delicious standing by. Red Hook, the hardest working beer of the fridge. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hey, it's Dr. Kopstein with K2 Vision RLE. We're thrilled to be supporting Husky Athletics. If you struggle with
Motor City, visit ChevyDetroit.com.
This is the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan Tailgate Show.
Let's get to the John Jansen keys to the game, and I got to tell you, I love that your keys to the game are written down on the back of a paper plate. And I think from here on out, we will have a sponsorship opportunity with the John Jansen back of a paper plate keys to the game. And let's start with the Michigan offense.
I hate doing dishes, so paper plates are big in my house.
Yeah, I have to unveil the fourth wall. You know, the plate, I think, was that a pandemic change?
No, that was started.
Was it a diet
6
change?
or 7 years ago? Yeah.
Well, I'm saying now you don't actually do it. You have the nice fancy iPad.
It's a technology change. It's called growing up, which I have resisted for 47 years. But here we are.
Well, let's go through the biggest keys to the game that you've ever given us, John Jansen, for the national championship game, starting with the offense.
And really, offense, defense, special teams, it's about getting back to basics. On offense, they can win the time of possession. The opposing offense, Washington, they need to be on the field. They need to be able to be in rhythm. The best defense against this team is going to be to keep them on the sidelines. So keep them off the field, convert on third downs, be a team that, and trust me, I would love explosive plays. And if that becomes a part of it, I'm okay with that. But continue to move the sticks, be good on first down, run the football behind the best offensive line in the game. Now, I know that Washington won the Joe Moore Award. That is motivation. We heard it from Braden McGregor. That's motivation for the defensive line. It's also motivation for our offensive line to go out and show that group made a mistake this year. And then use JJ all over the field. Rollouts, read option, deep shots. This is a game where JJ has to be on his A game, and they've got to be able to use him. That last drive, that 16-yard run, that was a great show of threat to this Washington team that, hey, we've got to be alert for JJ keeping that ball around the backside. We got to be alert for him handing the ball off, rolling out, staying in the pocket, all those different facets. That's where JJ really needs to be a threat today.
Yeah, time of possession is huge. You want to limit the amount of opportunities that Michael Penix and the Washington offense have to be on the field. Run the ball consistently. Get Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards. We'll see about Khalil Mullins behind that offensive line. Churn out yards, 4 yards, 5 yards at a pop. And then get creative with JJ, to your point, John. And Sherrone has done a really good job with that over the last couple years in big games, about putting a wrinkle in there that the defense doesn't see coming. Put JJ on the move, do some unique things. Doesn't have to be trick plays necessarily, but confuse that defense to keep them on their heels, allowing the run game to keep going like a battering ram over and over again.
We talked about a strength on strength. Washington's offense versus Michigan's defense. What are the keys for the latter of those two?
Well, number one is going to be, at times, you're going to have to be able to apply pressure by only rushing 4. And you've got to win some one-on-one matchups up front. There's going to be somebody that's going to be double-teamed. Everybody else, when you're one-on-one, you have to win. This team, this offensive line is really good at protecting Michael Penix. They're good at pass protection. So if you can get, and it's really going to have to come from the inside. Mason Graham, Chris Jenkins, Kenneth Grant, those are the guys that need to win those one-on-one matchups, allowing them to drop 7 into pass coverage and making it hard for Michael Penix to find some of those open holes. Creative in the looks. Jesse Minter is really in a great rhythm of calling this defense. And Alabama was blocking ghosts. They were seeing ghosts. They were turning the offensive line to where they thought Michigan was coming from. And then all of a sudden, somebody would come off the backside. We're going to have to get some of those again tonight. And then it really comes down to the play, in my opinion, of Will Johnson, Mikey Samerstill, Josh Wallace, that defensive secondary. they've got a tough job. And they have to be able to communicate, hey, when we're in man,